This podcast contains explicit content.
Do you ever see anything other than a number 2 pencil?
This podcast is hardly focused.
I'm sorry, I went to art school, so I can't.
I worked at an art supply store, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Number 2 is the best one that shows up on Scantrons back in the 60s, so that's what they use.
You are listening to Hardly Focused.
That's one of those comments, too, that I made, not expecting a full-blown discussion.
The history of the number 2 pencil, as brought to you by Hardly Focused.
We're Hardly Focused. You can get us at hardlyfocused.com. We are on all the podcast apps. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. And we're also on YouTube at hardlyfocused.com/YouTube. That's where you can watch the last segment of this episode that we just did. All Gas, No Brakes. Watching Andrew from All Gas, No Brakes at a Proud Boys rally in Portland, Oregon. Oh, man.
Good
we
stuff.
really didn't want to leave you with that one, though, because, I don't know, ending on a white racist like segment just doesn't seem right. We need to bring it down nice and smooth
I was
with some garbage.
I'm going to be honest with you. I was expecting that segment to be a lot funnier than it was.
I'm sorry.
It got very dark at the end.
It got for real. Well, I mean, I don't know. Like, it's fun to poke fun of that stuff, but like these guys really believe like they're wholehearted into that kind of stuff, and it's just discerning to a point where she's just like, haha, it's funny, look at you, you're dumb, but it's like, oh my gosh, I really wish you weren't that dumb. Like,
Right.
It's really
what do you
interesting.
do?
Yeah. Well,
It's fascinating to me. So if it's not hilarious, it's at least fascinating.
the next
Definitely,
time,
yeah. No, I mean, I was curious.
the next
Yeah,
time
So
we
these are the kinds of people that go to these things.
Yeah.
next time we do an All Gas, No Brakes, I will select like 3 and let you guys choose, like 2 or 3, and let you guys choose which one to do.
Awesome.
Because there's I know for a fact there's one video of him going to a flat Earth convention.
Those really exist. Oh my God. I thought Flat Earth was honestly a bot that somebody made just to see if it could be done.
People
I
seriously.
really honest to God thought that. But
There was like a
now I'm
guy
starting to
who
wonder
was
that either it was
planning for-
successful, but
Isn't
Dig
there
it.
a guy who was like, I need to prove the Earth is flat, and built like a rocket,
possible.
shot himself into the air, and like died?
I mean, he could have probably just taken a hot air balloon trip and seen something similar.
Yeah, I guess so. Anyway.
But at the same time, it's like, yikes, guys. Like, we proved the Earth was round, like, back in ancient Greece. And a guy did it with a stick and some string. Like, and these guys, we have, like, way more science that is, like, gone way further than this dude, his stick, his string, like, that was able to prove within like a couple feet, I think, that the Earth was like round, and like how round it was based on like some mountain or something like that.
Yeah.
So this dude was able to do some basic Greek math, figure out the circumference of the Earth, and then like in today's day and age, like literally 2,000 years after the fact, where like these guys are like, nah, man, I don't believe it. It's like, we've already sent a dude to the moon, which by the way is also round, just like every other celestial thing in the sky. Why would we be flat?
You know,
Like, hold on, let me literally give you a picture of the Earth from the ISS. Like, does it look flat?
you just explained it though. Like, we need to go back to sticks and string. Like,
Maybe.
they can't understand like this or trust this high technology. They're like,
Oh, that's a good point.
videos are all fake. The moon landing was a set.
Yeah, people
Like,
still
it's
think
like
the
they
moon
just-
landing was fake. Like,
They're just like they just can't. They don't understand the medium. So like, we need to go back to sticks and string because they understand sticks and string.
he's got a point here.
You guys.
10,000 years are gonna look back and be like, this guy had the clue, but he was just on a podcast. So
See, you guys, you say all this. Don't forget, there are Scientologists out there.
That's
Scientologists,
famous ones
exist.
of all things. That's what really blows my mind. Like,
And-
famous people.
And they are vehemently convinced in what L. Ron Hubbard preached, and they
Who
believe
literally
this to a
wrote
T.
science books to like get by.
Yeah.
Yeah, he also
literally
said-
wrote sci-fi.
He also is quoted for saying, "If you want to get rich, start a religion." I'm pretty sure that's real, but
I think it is, and I
so.
also think he outright admitted it was fake. Like, and that's on video somewhere too. But for whatever reason,
People
I mean,
believe it.
honestly, if I accidentally started a cult and people were going with it, I'd second guess whether or not I should stop it too. It's like, well, maybe I got something going here. It's like I might not try to like deceive the people out of money, but like I don't know, maybe that's just down to the different person. Like, what kind of person are you that starts a cult?
When you guys learn that like a famous person that you really like is a Scientologist, how does that make you feel? Nate.
I have an answer for this.
Okay.
I actually liked Beck, and I heard that Beck was a Scientologist, so I kind of just didn't like his music. And then I think I found out recently that he came out and said like he's not. So now I started liking his music again. Like, so I know it's like kind of immature, but like it does kind of affect the way that I see people. Like
you lose a bit of respect for him, right? Like,
yeah,
maybe not full respect, like outright, but like you just like wait, you really believe that? Like,
yeah, and the same goes with like Trump supporters. Like, I not gonna make this political, but like it's just I understand why you believe what you believe, but it's really stressful when you don't try to see other people's perspective. That makes it really hard to respect you if you're not going to even try to do the hard work.
Yeah.
So,
Michael Pena from Ant-Man, he tells all the lovable guy who tells all the great stories in Ant-Man, Scientologist. That's what kind of killed it for me. Because
so I feel like Scientology is famous because it was the cult that permeated the elite. Like it was the first one where you could be like, yeah, for $3 million, we'll give you your Theon levels. And this dude, Johnny Boy Travolta's over here like, I got all sorts of dumb money. I became a pilot. I checked my Theon levels. He's like, whoa, my Theon levels are really like that.
Wait, is John Travolta? Man. Is Travolta a Scientologist?
I think so. At one point he was.
Who?
John Travolta.
Chris Latin, baby. Oh yeah, he is. Yeah.
See what I mean? Like Tom Cruise isn't the only insane dude. Like, and you got to wonder, why are these insane people? Why are these? Well, yeah, they're insane. Why are these people going insane, but also smart enough and good enough to be Hollywood stars?
Yeah.
And then I think that goes back to the theory of just like if you grow up in the I don't know, the Hollywood area, there's a good chance you might just become famous, even if you're absolute crazy dude. Yeah. Actually, maybe more if you're a crazy dude. I don't know. Maybe people like the fact that I'm all sorts of wacky instead of just like I talk like this.
Well, you're either starring in major motion pictures or you're doing porn. But yeah, I mean, either way, you're going to be famous if you live in the area.
It's true.
It's not exactly cheap out there either.
No, which is crazy too, because there are literal tent cities. So it's like it goes to show that people that don't actually make that kind of money do live in that area, and they're searching.
Yeah.
They're picking up scraps, like, you know, like people that move out to there thinking that they're going to become rich and famous, like end up living in tents on the side of that really famous highway.
It's the gold rush all over again.
What I don't get,
it's instead of an actual gold rush, it's an entertainment money gold rush.
It's weird.
Everyone thinks they can be the next Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, exactly.
What I don't get is I've driven through the Hollywood Hills several times. And I don't understand why anyone would want to live up there. It's like you're living on the side of a canyon. There's no guardrails anywhere. Driving up there at night especially is just terrifying. Because if you lose sight of the road, then you're not on the road anymore. You're in the air. Like, I don't get it. And that's where all the celebrities live. And
they have drivers, so I guess they probably don't care about that too much.
I don't understand. Like, that's where they're all housed. It's not
right.
It looks cool, like at night when you can look out over the city, but like
it could have been something as simple as like back in the day, like the dude that owned that whole area was just like some farmer dude, and he's like, F it, I ain't doing a farm no more. And then some like rich vagabond came along and said, I'm gonna turn this into the Hollywood Hills, like, because I'm a big film guy, right? Like, he's already a big film guy, he's already got money. He buys this huge section of land and he starts building these Hollywood mansions on them, like, and they're huge, they're mansions, they're essentially estates, but but he targets them towards the rich and famous because he already knows the rich and famous. Once again, it all ties back into if you live and grow up in that area, there might be a chance that you're just going to become famous just because.
Yeah.
Instead of actual hard work and stuff like that. And there's lots of people that put in a lot of tons of hard work that don't actually get to go as far as they should. He's raising his hand over there.
Hi, my name's Nate. I have a YouTube channel. It's
hardlyfocus.com/Nate.
Please subscribe.
Yeah, you know why we created the URL on the Hardly Focus website to go to Nate's Space Bear comedy channel? It's because someone, for this exact reason, someone messaged me this past week and asked me, what is Nate's YouTube channel? And I gave them the Hardly Focus link, to which she responded, how the fuck do you spell Space Bear?
Yeah, exactly, man.
How do you pronounce Space Bear? And I'm like, you pronounce it this way, hardlyfocus.com/Nate.
It's true. I mean, in fairness, we do have like the search going for us. Like if you look up Space Bear spelled SPACEBEAR, you get a ton of different crap.
Yeah.
You really do. If you type in the way that we spell it, you get us. So there was that. But everything else kind of screwed us over. We're like, people don't need it. Like we'll get word of mouth through the internet. It's like, now everyone's like, how do you pronounce your YouTube name? Or how do I go to it? And be like, well, you have to already be there to know.
I already got to be on the channel to know.
You have to know. Oh, well. You learn.
Like I said, if you get that one random 2-year-old video that just happens to like get trending somehow because some YouTube like employee just happens upon it, who knows?
It's a lottery, man.
It is. It is quite literally a lottery to a degree.
Have you guys yet watched Animaniacs on Hulu?
I've seen the trailer. I haven't actually watched the new episodes.
Nate, you've watched it?
I watched the first episode, yes.
Okay. What'd you think?
I liked it. And I say it like that because I got a lot of it. Like there was a lot of subtext that I think that went over my head when I watched it as a kid. Like I don't think I really fully appreciated it as a kid. Granted, I wasn't like a religious watcher when I was young, but I did like the show when I was young. But I don't think I got the full experience when I was a kid. There was a lot of references to pop culture and a lot of things that I
there are, yeah.
To. So I liked it. I thought it was funny. What did you think?
I like it. I've watched the first 2 episodes. I like the meta humor. There's a lot of things that I feel are going to really only be relevant this year because they talk a lot about, hey, it's been 22 years. It's been 22 years. Like, okay, you're solidifying that your show ended in 98, 96, 98, and now it's 2020, and you're back.
1998 was the best year of human existence. Changed my mind.
I agree. Oh my God, do I agree? Wow, yes.
Literally the pinnacle of all human everything since then.
98 was, I think, like the 90s peaked then, and it just went all downhill. The bubble burst. The 90s bubble burst at the end of 1998.
It all started with Y2K. Hasn't been the same since.
Yeah, well, it's because that's when the boy bands really started in 1999. It just it went downhill from there. But there's a lot of meta humor. I do like that. I think it's in the second episode they make a couple references to Trump, but then they also just straight up say, we wrote this in 2018, so who knows what's gonna happen.
That's the first episode.
Yeah.
I was just about to say, like, they do reference that they wrote it in 2018, but I don't know if that's a joke or not. Like, how could we foreseen? Like, they're like, I think Trump is still president. We don't know.
I considered loading up the reboot song. I didn't do it though.
Oh, true. That's fine. We'll just do it right now, you and me. I'm just kidding.
Now again, I haven't watched the rest of the season, but I hope it's not just Animaniacs and Pinky and the Brain. I really hope that there's those other sort of non sequitur segments that pop up.
Oh yeah.
What were the other ones that were back in the day? There was like the that girl that liked to like hug the animals to death.
Elmira.
Elmira.
Well, she was technically Tiny Toons, and then they did a crossover.
Was there a crossover with that?
They did a crossover. They spun
all the facts.
They spun off Pinky and the Brain into their own show, and then at one point, it got its own spinoff where it became Pinky, the Brain, and Elmira. Or Pinky, Elmira, and the Brain. I can't remember, but they fused the two together. They've confirmed that Elmira is not going to show up in Animaniacs because there's a Tiny Toons reboot coming to HBO Max next year.
Really?
And Elmira will be present there, but the problem is the two shows are now owned by different companies. Like, that's still technically under Warner, but it's two different owners. So they don't have the rights to Elmira right now, so they can't bring her back. But they had Katie Kaboom. She was the teenage girl who in every skit would blow her stack because she was a teenage girl, and her parents would like put on army fatigues and hide behind sandbags in her own home, and she would turn into the Incredible Hulk. A good friend of mine finally made the connection today because her Facebook profile picture is a caricature of herself, but it looked. I thought for the longest time that it looked so familiar. Found out she looks just like Katie Kaboom.
Nice.
So there's that.
I wish I looked like. No.
There's the kid who would tell stories about his friend. He would like run out of his house and tell a quick story about something dumb that his friend did, and then he'd be like, "Okay, bye," and then he'd run back inside.
Fun fact, I actually had a kid do that when I was younger. I was riding my bike around the circle, and this kid runs out of the house, throws a stick with a nail in it at my bike, pops the tire. I look at him and go, "Dude, what?" And he just goes, "Is it hot in here or is it just me?" And he runs back inside and closes the door. Fun fact. One of the most random occurrences that has ever happened in my life. And the worst part is it wasn't my bike. It was my aunt's bike that I was borrowing, and she was really angry that I popped the tire, and she didn't believe my story. And I was like, I wouldn't believe my story, but dude, for real, like this kid just ran out of the house, threw a stick at me, it popped the tire. Like, I could bring you to the house and show you the kid. Like, he's still there. He lives down the street. Like, she's like, this is ridiculous. No, like, I'm just gonna go buy a new bike tire, but I think you just rode it and popped it. And I was like, I swear, like, I didn't. Like, if you ever been actually innocent and like called guilty, it's the worst feeling in the world. Like, it's the worst. Just like, why don't you guys believe me? Like, what? Like, I swear to God, this kid just ran out of the house. Like, I don't know what's wrong with him. Like, he just ran out of I've never seen this kid in my life. He runs out of the house, like literally pops my tire, runs inside.
What did he say?
Is it hot in here? Or is it just me? I'll never forget it. I can't forget it. It's just like, it's embedded in my brain because like nobody believed me later. I was just like, guys, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I had to walk the bike back home and everything. It was horrible.
I can't. It hurts.
Sorry. What were we even talking about? That just triggered me like wicked bad. Jeez. Oh, jeez.
Cartoons or something.
I just got PTSD about.
Wow.
That's straight PTSD.
Oh, I can imagine that happening. That's the golden part of that is I can imagine and picture all of this happening, and I know it did. I've never heard that story until now, but there's something about that neighborhood that you live in.
Exactly. Dude, I'll tell you after the show, like who it was, like what household it was, and you'll believe me even more. Like, oh God, I won't mention them on there, but like it was that household. That household.
Got you.
I think it's almost better if I don't know. Right? I think it's almost better if I don't know who it is.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't get to. That's like it's like a nice part of town, and there's just a lot of odd people that live over there.
Yep, wicked odd people.
Yeah.
Somehow they've managed. I think a lot of them have managed to just like take over from their like parents, like their parents, or like they bought it back when houses were cheap. Like, I mean, I think when the circle that I grew up on was built, the houses were going for like 10 to 13 grand each. So housing was cheap back then.
Yeah.
You could actually like work at a grocery store and like afford a house at the same time.
Oh,
Times
those
are
were
better.
good times.
Right? Like, look, you can afford food. What?
Now it takes like 3 people to own a house.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Looking for roommates. If we split this bill 6 ways, guys, we only have to pay $1,200 a piece,
Yep.
Oh,
and then we can afford this one shack.
oh my God. I wish I
that's
was.
somewhat near the only job hub in the area. Like,
I wish I was paying $1,200. I was paying $1,200. Rent at one
see, that's
point.
what I mean. Like, that's when you can split it.
God, I missed that. I missed those days. All right, let's do a segment to close out this episode of Hardly Focused.
Right.
The segment is called this.
Hardly Focused.
Presents
Do you finger your own asshole just to smell your own shit? Like, I don't get it. How fucking dumb are you?
Nate.
That's me.
I'm gonna throw this one at you because you're the one who reminded me about this. The band Trapped.
Okay. They suck.
They might be trapped.
So
Are they better than Train?
I think not. So here's the thing.
Okay.
I've been following them. They've been doing a lot of fucking stupid things this year. So I've kind of been following them. Like they interestingly enough support the Proud Boys.
Oh,
so
Jesus.
there is a connection there. They made a post about how Black Lives Matter isn't real, like how Black lives don't matter. And then so that wasn't a great move. And then they came out with a new album that was like, you know, they were saying how successful it was going to be. I think it sold like 600 copies. So burnt. But then they made a post on Facebook talking about the Proud Boys. And, you know, I forget exactly what the post said, but Facebook fucking straight up said, this is hate speech. And they kicked them off of Facebook.
Oof.
So then they were upset and they went to Twitter and they were like complaining, like, we're allowed to say whatever we want. We're going to be suing Facebook because they kicked us off their platform. And I'm thinking, oh my God, these guys are hilarious. They have one song that made it. And they're like,
Yeah.
and they're like, fuck, man, it's hilarious to me. I don't know if it's just me, but it's just like, wow.
According to Consequence of Sound, they say, quote, the violation came in the form of a graphic showing the silhouette of a Proud Boy holding Lady Liberty with the words, don't worry, girl, we got you. Frontman Chris Taylor Brown also added the Proud Boy saying PYOB, or proud of you, boy.
How dumb are you?
Yikes.
How fucking dumb are you?
So,
Jesus.
if you're the manager of a band, don't let them have a Twitter. Just you
Right.
have to control that Twitter. Don't. That's like whatever they just did was pretty much any chance of them redeeming themselves like suicide. Because even if they did come out with a song, that statement is going to come back and bite them. Like,
That is
hardcore.
that's a PR nightmare right there. That's what that is.
Yeah, exactly. Any manager is looking at that going, "Oh, why did you say
Yeah, there's
that?
no coming back.
Do they even have? Do they even have a manager at this point?
Probably not.
That's a good question. That's a fantastic question.
It's like there's two questions in the music industry. Who wants to be Trap's band manager? Who wants to be Puddle of Mud's manager?
You know what I feel like it was? It was like, we only have one hit and we're not really that popular. Maybe we can become the anthem of the Proud Boys. So we should just put all of our chips into that.
Maybe that is that could be it. Or, you know what? Even scarier, that might have even been their manager's thought. If they've got a real bad manager, he's like, "Hey, maybe you guys can just spin it up with the Proud Boys. They seem to like your kind of music."
Or you got
And then
that song
like these
that's all
guys are
like
just like,
fighting.
"Sure,
You got that song that's all about fighting. You know the Proud Boys
yeah,
love
that
fighting.
could
so-
actually be that's a real theory now."
God, I just for the hell of it looked up to see if Trapped and Puddle of Mud ever went on tour together. Oh, and they have. There's a festival called Mudfest last year. Puddle of Mud, Saliva, Trapped, Saving Abel, and Tantric.
Ooh, I like Tantric.
All one hit wonders there. I don't even know.
Oh yeah, Breakdown was a one-hit wonder.
I don't even know if hit is even the right word for some of those bands. Saving Abel, that's a band name I haven't heard since 2005.
True.
What was that song they had? Was it 18 Days?
I'm unfamiliar.
Okay.
I'm glad I knew Tantric.
See, Tantric's the only one I can't think of a song by Tantric.
The Breakdown. I know the Breakdown. Everyone's gonna someday.
Oh!
You can find a reason that no one else is living this way. Because everybody else had like that.
Oh yeah, Jesus. the Chad Kroger.
Or yeah.
Not even the Eddie Vedder. It wasn't like the 90s era. Let's all try to sound like Eddie Vedder, where Scott Weiland tried and then gave up quickly.
And I feel time's a ways to go.
Everyone trying to sound like Scott Stapp, right?
Yeah. Well, I liked Tantric, so I know we weren't going down that road, but I just wanted to say that I like that song a lot because it's got a cool It's cool. It's cool. It's cool, man.
Know? I will buy that logic, and I agree with it.
It's kind of cool, so it's cool.
Are they as cool as Primitive Radio Gods with their one hit standing outside a broken phone booth with the money in my hand?
He just whipped out lyrics, and I'm not sure what they're from.
Everybody knows that song. Everybody knows that song.
Yeah,
should have had it lined up then if we all knew it. No. Even though we've randomly tangented to the subject.
I've been downhearted, baby. Ever since the day we met.
Ever since the day. I've never understood what he said. I always thought like, I've been harder with you, baby. I've been harder with you, baby.
That's
what he says.
That's a sample, and I can't remember if it's Fats Domino or someone else. But it's a sample of someone else's song, and that was their one hit. But you know who covered that song? John Nolan from Taking Back Sunday did a cover of it a few years ago, and it wasn't half bad.
You probably understand it.
It's probably why I like it so much, because John Nolan covered it. Of course, John Nolan would cover it. Who else would?
Have you guys liked the song more when you misunderstood the lyrics than when you actually figured out what the lyrics were?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And I still, you know what? In all honesty, there's some songs where I still go by the lyrics that I thought I was hearing because they sound so much better.
I can't blue, die. Except it's like, I always thought it was blue. If I were green, I would die. Like, I heard that one on the radio. Like,
but
it's just how it went through my brain. And I was like, yeah, man, he's got to have blue everything. Because if he was green, mofo be dead. Like,
it makes sense. I agree with you.
He cannot be green. He would die. That's why he's got blue house, blue window.
I agree with you.
He has a girlfriend. She is so blue. I don't know. There's lots of songs that, like, especially like before, like really quick lyric searching, like, you know, you were just like, yeah, like, and like you maybe listen to it twice and you press the headphones like closer to your head and be like, I think I know what he's saying. Yeah. And then you're just like, 700 listens of that song later and you just can't unhear it.
I wish I had an example for you, but like, I know there is a song.
I think we've all had that song. The thing too, like, it's probably the song that you like it, but you don't listen to it enough to really remember it.
Yeah.
I mean, because if you really remembered it, you might have already checked the lyrics and you would have known. Honestly, the Eiffel 65 guys are the one I can think of off the top of my head, but I know there's other instances where I've like misheard song lyrics and been like, yeah. Jeez. I gotta think of another one.
Here you go while you think of that. You'll know the song once you hear it. This would always, like, on weekends, play at WAF. And every time it would, all of a sudden people would start calling and texting because they wanted to know who it was. And they'd usually follow it up with, "This song sucks, never play it again." But
True.
But anytime it played, people were like, "What the hell is this song?" Because it sounded also very uncharacteristic for, the hard rock station. But it's one of those ones where, like, it's almost kind of like a Mandela effect, right? Like where you're like, it's stuck in your head and you don't realize it's an actual song. You think you're piecing it together from 3 different songs.
Right.
It's I figured it out, by the way. It's because the audio like ducks. It's like ever since a day, like it's like it fades out. You know what I'm saying? Like I never understood.
Just enough to pull away from like the understanding of the word.
It's funny you say that, Nate, that it fades out, because the second most popular song by Primitive Radio Gods, according to Spotify, is a song called "Fading Out."
Wow. Jeez.
From their 2000 album White Hot Peach. And I will say, I actually am familiar with that song. It's a good song. Every song of theirs sounds the same. They all sound like that song with the ridiculously fucking long title. That's the other thing too. People are like, "Oh, what's that song called?" Well, it's called "Standing Outside a Broken Phone Booth with Money in My Hand." What?
Hold on while I fit that into a text message.
It's almost as bad as that song that's called like just M.
Aren't there a couple like that?
There was a girl who wouldn't get changed with the other girls at school, but when they finally made her. This episode's very Nate singing. How did you do this?
I like it.
What have you done to me? It's not that song that goes.
What the? Oh, well, okay. So you want to talk about ridiculous titles? Fiona Apple.
True.
Her second
I like apples.
Her second album from 1999. Here we go. The full name. Now, it's typically just referred to as "When the Pawn ... But the full name of the album is
Ready? Drum roll.
"When the pawn hits the conflicts, he thinks like a king. What he knows throws the blows. When he goes to the fight, and he'll win the whole thing. For he enters the ring. There's nobody to batter when your mind is your might. So when you go solo, you hold your own hand. And remember, that depth is the greatest of heights. And if you know where you stand, then you know where to land. And if you fall, it won't matter, because you'll know that you're right."
Holy shit. Are you sure that's the album and not just like the poetry art that they put on the
No
album?
kidding, right? That's what you find on the inside of the book title.
That's literally on the album cover.
The book.
It's literally on the album cover.
Wow.
I would love it if, like, while they were promoting it, they didn't want to do that, so they did the abbreviation. They're like, A B C I K I L M M O L K L B C D. Just the abbreviation of it. I'm not able to do it like some people can, but.
The only other thing I could think of like that is like the Captain Underpants animated novels, because they're like Captain Underpants and the Perilous Plot of Professor Poopy Pants, and like that was like the second one, and like every title since then has just gotten progressively longer to the point where like the titles take up the majority of the cover now.
I remember back in like the 5th grade. We'd all go around with whatever, I think it was the Professor Poopy Pants one, and there was
we got from the Scholastic Book Fair. Heck yeah!
And there was a name generator in there. Remember? It was Professor Poopy Pants' name generator.
Yes.
I can't remember what mine was, but that was the thing to do. Go around and hey, what's your Captain Underpants?
What's your name? That was super popular back then.
Nate, do you remember like 15 years ago the craze that was fueled by like Brand New and Fall Out Boy and Panic at the Disco was to have your song titles not be referenced at all in the songs, but also just be annoyingly long?
Yes, I do remember that. That was all of high school.
I write sins, not tragedies.
Yep. I'm trying to remember any other ones.
Our lawyers made us change the name of this song so we wouldn't get sued by Fall Out Boy.
Oh, yeah.
Although they had some really clever ones, too.
Fall Out Troy has that one song that's called "Fuck condoms, premarital sex is the shit. Get 'em pregnant, get 'em pregnant, get 'em pregnant." And then they just abbreviated it, and then that song was on Guitar Hero.
Oh, FCP remix.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to use that as an opening music bed. I think for the Yak and Jack show.
Nice.
Yeah.
I saw Fall of Troy open for Coheed in 2007. They played with Clutch at the the Palladium in Worcester. That was a good show, man. I think Chris Penny from Dillinger Escape Plan had just joined the band, and that was like the big thing for me was, okay, Nate, you're a music man. You'll understand this. How the fuck do you go from Dillinger Escape Plan to Coheed and Cambria?
Money.
Well said.
When you go from math rock to 4/4, like, what?
I don't know, man. It happens all of the time. It's really weird.
I forgive it all. You know why? Because Coheed fucking wrote a sequel to someone else's song, and it was great.
Well, yeah.
Jesse's Girl too, man. That's such a good song. I had one more story here for how fucking dumb are you, and then we can wrap this up. According to TMZ, 7 die in Russia after drinking hand sanitizer.
Choice. I love hand sanitizer. I take shots of it on the regular, daily. It's my favorite. I love it. Pastime. Boom. Hand sanitizer shot. Bam. At work, hand sanitizer shot. I've only gone blind twice. I swear it's great. Get your hand sanitizer anywhere the hand sanitizer is sold or gifted out in those little push things.
I love it. Try the aloe.
It's great.
Try the aloe version. The aloe version goes
The aloe
down
version
nice
feels
and
great in my throat.
smooth. It goes down nice and smooth.
All I can picture is Barney Gumble talking about brain damage and then immediately takes a swig out of a tin of varnish.
I mean, do you remember not too long ago people were doing vodka shots through their eyeballs?
Was that actually a thing? What?
That was a thing.
I heard of like the tampon soak things, and you like put it up your butt, but eyeballs?
Yeah,
My eyes hurt thinking of that. Dude, that's nuts.
Up here, I guess.
I guess, dude, I cut onions and my eyes hurt. I could only imagine putting vodka in my eyeballs. That's just not even like.
Never forget Tide Pods.
Yep.
It was a very. I don't know if did anyone actually do that, or was that just like scary that like, all right, we think people might be dumb enough to do this.
It was a stupid YouTube thing that 2 people did in jest, and not in jest, but in jest. They were doing it as a joke, but then people were like, hey, I'm going to do it too. And then they did it for real and got violently ill, as they should. That's Darwinism.
Yeah,
these Tide Pods aren't even like regular detergent. It's like concentrated detergent, which is why they have to put it in the pod.
Yeah, and they cover it in that film too. That's supposed to deter you from putting it in your mouth. It's the same shit that they put on the Nintendo Switch cartridges. Do not eat these.
Oh yeah. I just need to cover my own ass because you said something that jumped out. I don't mean to plug again, but I just released a video that was called The Mint Challenge Gone Wrong. And it's supposed to be a parody on all those like the cinnamon challenge.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, we got to do something because people are actually going to start chugging bottles of mint and peppermint extract. And I actually looked it up. It's not good for you. Like,
I'm glad you did the research beforehand.
I mean,
what kind of foresight?
I was like, I really hope no one out there is like, I hope it doesn't catch on because for the wrong reasons. So
Maybe
let me just come out and say that right here and right now.
The
if
TMZ.
do it, I guess mint would be the way to do it, but peppermint is apparently super toxic.
Really?
I that's what the internet says, but
I believe it. But dang.
But like I had one little tiny drop of it. I'm gonna come clean. The bottle in the video was water. Because one little small
willing
drop
to believe that.
One little small drop of that is so horrible. Like it is very, very horrible. Like it fucks up your whole mouth. Like I
believe it.
It's a tough time. It's a very bad time.
I mean, I can I imagine. I mean, you put like 2 drops in like a whole cake or a whole batch of cookies. 2 drops, like so a whole bottle would just be something else.
Yeah, so I just need to say that. I need to get that out of my mind.
There we go. So Jack, when he requests this for legal reasons later on, when he needs to bring it to court because some dude literally like swallowed 3 things of like mint and just like keeled over, like just make sure this is handy. He's saying it right here, boys.
I'm pretty sure in the description we wrote, "Don't try this at home."
Oh, you covered your ass. There you go.
So, like, I just want to say for the record, like, it's funny you brought this up because we literally just put out a video where I'm like thinking that exact thing is like, did I just put out the next Tide Pod challenge?
You might have.
I mean,
you covered your ass. You put the disclaimer in there. You're fine. That's like what I do with this show. As long as I say that there's dirty, naughty things.
So the disclaimer, don't try this at home, right? I mean, that's vague within itself. I tried it at work, broke my leg. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I tried it at this other location. It's like, I wouldn't try that at home. Yeah. It requires jumping in front of a train. I had to try it on the train tracks.
Well, you know what I like is South Park with their disclaimer at the beginning, which is just like, it's the most facetious bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
This stuff should not be viewed by anyone.
Yeah, just like, don't watch our show.
Like, nobody should even watch this.
This article says in Russia, 7 people are, this is from TMZ, by the way, 7 people are dead after drinking hand sanitizer because they ran out of booze. It happened in Russia where 9 people were apparently partying, and when the alcohol ran dry, they pulled out an antidote for coronavirus. But these folks weren't interested in cleaning their hands. They wanted a swig or 2. The victims ranged in age from 28 to 69. Nice.
I was expecting dumb teenagers. All right. Well,
2 victims are in the ICU in a coma. The government in Russia warned its citizens not to drink hand sanitizer. Yeah.
Drink vodka.
Well, they ran out. So I was thinking, when you say run out, I'm thinking like this whole town went dry for a few days, and like the hardcore alcoholics of the town were just like, I needs it, glug, glug, glug. Not just some random one-off party where they're like, we're out of booze. Oh, you want to go get some more? Nah, I don't want to walk down the street and get that. It's cold out. Let's just drink this here sanitizer I got. And they were already trashed, liver's already struggling, and then you just ingest this. Well, I do hope it had aloe vera.
Why?
Down smooth.
Why am I'm just not surprised. Like,
it is kind of weird.
Yeah, though. Not surprised in the least. All right, let's.
But don't drink hand sanitizer. It's bad.
Yeah,
don't put fucking vodka shots in your eye. Don't drink mint. Never put salt in your eye. Never.
Pretty much everything we've gone over in this video. Don't try it. Don't try it.
Yeah.
Just don't do it.
Well, on that note, I do want to mention
the white supremacists say to join them. Just say no. You've watched Pinocchio. You know what happens when you don't say no. Listen to the little cockroach or grasshopper in your brain saying, "Don't do that, son."
Yeah.
On that note, we'll conclude this episode of Hardly Focused. I will mention that our 20-minute clock that I set for every segment, we have exceeded by at least twice that. So congratulations.
Longest episode ever.
Proud of you guys. Oh, one of them. I'd say we got to be about 2.5 hours at this point. Mike is not here. I was just about to thank him.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks for being here, Mike.
Yeah, that's fine.
God, I suck.
Mike, it's been good.
It's been great, man. You contributed a lot to this particular episode.
Fro,
I'm glad you were here.
Yes, I'm happy to be here. Yes, thanks for having me. Fro, thank you for being here. Thank you for making me laugh my ass off today. Holy shit.
Yeah,
I was in a ranty mood. It's been a while. It's been weeks.
Nate, it's been a pleasure as always.
It's always fun.
We've got the Space Bear Comedy channel at hardlyfocus.com/Nate. We will talk at you next time, and we will conclude with this important public service announcement. See you, bye.
Okay, so this is true. Randy Beeman's dad, Mr. Beeman, who is smart, said to eat lots of carrots to get to see really good in the dark. And so Randy Beeman ate carrots all the time, and he turned orange. Okay, bye.